Pioneer fans, Pioneer men's varsity basketball is live and on the air. We are live here on the campus of Pioneer High School in the main gym for Pioneer men's varsity basketball taking on the Monroe Trojans. Pioneer is 10-3 according to the MHSAA on the season. Their lone losses were to Farmington or to Wayne Memorial. That was at Farmington. That was a 73-67 loss. They lost to Saline over at Saline. That was 70-60. That was the biggest loss they faced. And then they fell at here versus Ypsilanti Lincoln. That was a 56-54 win by Ypsilanti Lincoln. Otherwise, they've beaten Northville. They've beaten Monroe before. That was 62-37 at Monroe. They beat Temperance Bedford, East Point, Detroit Catholic Central, Skyline, Huron, Detroit Douglas, Dexter, and lastly, Redford Thurston. That was on the 24th, and that was a 56-43 win. Monroe is 2-9. Their wins were versus Toledo Woodward. That was a 45-41 point win, and they beat Dundee by a score of 39-24. Their losses to Dearborn Crestwood, New Boston Huron, Pioneer, Huron, Ann Arbor Huron, Dexter, Toledo Bowser from Ohio, obviously, Riverview, Temperance Bedford. That Riverview one was at Wayne State, by the way. Temperance Bedford, and their last loss was to Saline, 55-35. Did you get a chance to talk? I know you got a chance to talk to the Monroe coach there. How you doing? By the way, we have Coach Ahrens with us. How you doing, sir?
Very good, Mark. Mid-season, a lot going on in the world of basketball.
Absolutely.
Not just in high school gyms and the collegiate and professional levels, and I'm enjoying it. I spend a lot of time on the couch. And
Did you watch the Nebraska-Michigan game? That was
Yes.
quite the close contest.
And I didn't know this, but I checked it out. Nebraska preseason was predicted for mid-level in the Big Ten.
Really?
That's,
They've given Michigan as much of a hard time as anyone
yes,
out there.
they brought in 6 players. I thought they looked very good. But those were 2 good teams.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Unfortunately, on the other side, both of us are EMU fans. I don't
Yeah.
know if you saw what happened up in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, pleasant was not the word I'd use for it. But, nor do I know many mountains out there, but that's neither here nor there.
Right. Yeah, 100-65.
That was painful.
And I think Central's only won 3 games, but Eastern was understaffed. They got some injuries. One player has been removed from the roster, as you know. So they have that adversity going on. But here, yeah, I did get a chance to really just talk to Marion for a second. I made some quick notes to share with our listeners. I keep calling him a defensive coach, and he doesn't fully agree with me. But, man, to keep teams under 50, I think they're at 51.5.
That is impressive.
That's about 12 per quarter, 12, 13. Anyway, I said, man, I'm really disappointed I missed that Huron game. And he said it was a good game. I said, you play 4 good quarters, and basically you got to play 4 good quarters to beat Huron.
Absolutely. Yeah, never easy.
Right. Well, he said tonight, not just tonight, the rest of the season, they really want to improve that 3-point field goal percentage.
Sure, yeah.
White Ridge, the new 6'8" center added to the roster, has been with the team 5 games now, and he's averaging 10.8 rebounds.
As I think we're about to have the national anthem. I believe Pioneers lined up on the free throw line, Monroe across the way, and let me take off the hat to honor America, the playing of the national anthem.
Okay, for Monroe, quick scout report here, talking to Coach Andre Smith, a second-year coach who has a background pretty similar to mine. He's coached professional basketball in the ABA and the IBL, and we think we even coached against each other at one point, and he was in Youngstown, Ohio.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, they're Monroe's averaging 40 points per game. That's 10 a quarter. They average giving up 52.3. Being a second-year coach, I asked him, what's being stressed in building your new program?
Yeah.
And he says we're emphasizing discipline and structure.
Makes sense.
I asked him about the 35 shot clock coming. He says he thinks it's well overdue. He's for it. I asked him what he thinks of Pioneer tonight. He says they're a great team. We're concerned about their press and their physical play. We got to do a couple of things to win this one tonight. One is keep our turnovers down. We have to defend, and we have to execute at both ends of the floor.
Fantastic. As Whitridge being announced, so far Bailey and Whitridge the starts for Pioneer, Robinson and Phillips for Monroe. So coming out, Jordan Harrison being announced for Pioneer. John called him Collett. I'll try and do that. Perry is one of the guards. Ellington being announced for Pioneer. And one more for each team here. Jones being announced, the other guard for Monroe. Logan in for Pioneer. Again, I need to change that on my sheet as I have 13 or 23. And you have the officials out there.
Tonight we got another veteran crew, Mark. We have Les English, 21 years of experience. Doug McDonald, 10 years on the court. And Dennis Busey, 20, a total of 51 years.
That is impressive. That is very impressive. Again, if you think you can do better, or if you want to give back to the game, please reach out to the MHSA or your local coach. We'd love to have more officials. As ready, Whitridge up as he wins that back to Ellington. Ellington for Pioneer goes over midcourt. Ellington bounce past to Bailey, then gets it back. Hand off over to Logan on the far wing. Whitridge, top of the key. Whitridge down the far side of the paint. Over to Ellington for three. Ellington hits it. Three-pointer for Ellington, and it's 3-0. Pioneer with the lead. Now bringing Ed Jones for Monroe. Picked up by Logan right at midcourt. Jones dishes it off to Perry. Perry on the far sideline. Back over to Robinson. Robinson trying to get it in. Bailey got his hand in the way. Whitridge gets that. Here comes Ellington the other direction for Pioneer. Logan back to Ellington. Ellington on the far wing. Over to Logan on the near wing. Three-pointer for Logan. And it's 6-0. Pioneer, 2 3-pointers. One by Ellington, one by Logan. Now bringing it ahead is Jones for Monroe. He has it in the front court. Jones over onto the near wing. Jones, triple team, gets that back over to Perry. Perry 4-3 off the back of the rim, trying to pull it down. That grab by Perry, dishes it off on the far sideline. That over to Robinson. Now on the near wing is Jones. Jones for Monroe, comes to the free throw line. Fires it up off the paint, off the glass, off the rim, wouldn't go. Whitridge with the rebound. 6:40 left to go here in the first. Harrison into the near corner. Ellington thought about the three. Now Dulogan takes a long three and hits it. That one from about 5 foot off the three-point line. Well, you talked about it. Coach wanted to get the three-point percentage up, and it's 100% right now. That's pretty darn impressive.
1 minute, 31 seconds, 9 points.
That's something special right there.
And it's 3 for 3, so 100% can't get any better than that.
Definitely. So it's 9-0 Pioneer with the lead as, 1 minute, 31 seconds in. Monroe has to take a timeout because the Pioneer has found distance. And like I said, Dulogan, that one was well beyond the professional three-point line.
Yeah, he was open, executed, had great form. He used his legs. He followed through with that wrist. That was a nice shot.
I mean, it wasn't quite a Caitlin Clark logo three, but pretty out there. As bringing it ahead is Jones over midcourt. Jones over on the far wing. Jones on the far sideline. Bounce pass underneath. That ball picked up, knocked down by Harrison. Harrison for Pioneer. The other direction, Harrison. Underneath to Bailey. Bailey puts it up and in. Bailey with his first points of the game. And it's 11-0 with 6:03 left to go here in the first. Jones for Monroe. Slowly brings it across midcourt. Dulogan watching him. That over to Robinson. Robinson works his way around the arc over on the far wing to Perry. Perry working against Dulogan. Dulogan steals that away, gets it over. Now Harrison puts it up, finger roll up and in. Great offense and good defense for Pioneer thus far. Now Jones moves it over to Perry. Perry on the far sideline. Back over to Robinson. Robinson just in front of the scorer's bench. Now on the blockades for Pioneer. Hand off to Jones. Jones working against Harrison. 5:24 left to go here in the first. Perry on the near sideline. Perry down the baseline. Puts it up. Off the rim. Pulled down by Whitridge. Now the other direction. Ellington gets it over to Bailey. Bailey into the near corner. Harrison 4-3 off the rim. And I think that's the first miss for Pioneer. Harrison tracks it down and gets it back. 4 points for Harrison, and it's 15-0 Pioneer. 5 minutes left to go here in the first. Jones calling out signals for Monroe as he goes over midcourt. Jones on the near wing. Jones back on the near sideline. Now trying to get. Harrison steals it away. Harrison finger roll. Wouldn't go, but Robinson the foul. And that should be in the active shooting. So Harrison should go to the line to shoot two. In this case, defense turning into fast break points for Pioneer. So they've gotten their hands in the passing lane. Harrison with the first shot, spins the ball, bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in. Nothing but net on that one. Harrison has 5 points, trying to make it an even 6. So Wells in for Monroe. Up off the rim, pulled down. Now Wells brings it ahead. Wells over midcourt. Wells, top of the key. Wells, bounce pass, that over to Collette. Now, pulling it down is White. White on the near wing. White, bounce pass, over to Jones. Jones just off the blockades, over on the near side. Jones trying to make his way into the paint. Jones puts it up off glass, rolls off the back of the rim, the front of the rim. Whitridge with the rebound. Here comes Ellington over midcourt. Ellington for Pioneer. Down the near side of the, or far side of the paint, put up, rolled off the front of the rim. Monroe with the rebound. Jones the other direction over midcourt. Jones gets it all the way over on the near wing. That to Collette. Back over to Jones. Jones over on the near wing for White. White. Bounce pass to Wells in the near corner. Wells working his way around the arc. Back to White now. Jones on the far sideline. Jones gets a screen. Comes down, puts up a long two-pointer. Collette with the rebound, up and in. 2 points for Collette. And it's 16-2. Pioneer with the lead. 3:30 left to go here in the first. Harrison moves it over to Ellington. Now DeLogan on the far wing. DeLogan back to Bailey, top of the key. Now on the near wing to Ellington. Ellington. And into the paint. DeLogan over to Harrison. Harrison for 3. Hits that one. Nothing but net on that one. So Harrison has 8 points, and it's 19-2. Pioneer with the lead. 3:08 left to go in the first. Jones bounce pass for Monroe. That knocked away. Coming the other direction. That ball as Whitridge with a dunk. The exclamation on the steal. That's his first points. And the Pioneer bench erupts. I believe Monroe calling a timeout as it's 21-2. And what's been more impressive to you so far, Coach? The defense for Pioneer or the offense?
Well, I got some numbers here, and Monroe has 4 turnovers already, and I think only one of them are forced.
Indeed.
So 3 of the 4 have not been forced. Just some mistakes here, bad passes, and Pioneer took advantage of them. Got a good high percentage shot.
And 4 3-pointers already for Pioneer. I think they are 4 for 5, I believe, if I'm correct there. Not positive.
You are.
So that's a darn good percentage to start off with from the 3-point line.
Right, right.
So at this point, I mean, if you're the Monroe coach, what are you telling your players don't pay attention to the scoreboard, just keep working on it play by play?
Number one, offensively, I would say we got to take better care of the ball.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we got to slow down our offense. We got to execute. Like the coach said before the game, they have to execute their offense and defense. And defensively, got to get on the perimeter and get a hand in the face.
As Monroe looking to inbound on the baseline left, Wells gets it in as Espinoza trying to move it ahead, and that, I did not grab that one.
All right. That's the first turnover for you tonight, Mark.
Yes, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm on the mic and I'm not on the court. Well, also I'm a little past my eligibility age. As that ball inbounded by Wells. Well, Wells looking to inbound that all the way over to White. White on the far wing. White into the paint, puts it up, that off to the near side. That ball grabbed by Whitridge. Whitridge over to DeLogan for Pioneer. DeLogan down the far side of the paint. Up off the side of the glass. Monroe with the rebound. Now bringing it over, Espinoza over on the near wing to Collette. Collette working against Saito. That ball knocked away. Here comes Harrison. Harrison puts it up. He's fouled. Couldn't make the basket, and that was just, again, a pass that went off of Monroe's hand, and Pioneer took advantage. So White picks up his first foul. That is 2 on Monroe, none on Pioneer thus far. Harrison to the line. He has a game-high 8 points. And now 9 points. Nothing but net on that one. One more coming for Harrison. Saito is in for Pioneer. Everyone else are starters. And up and rattles home for Harrison. He has 10 points, and it's 23-2. Pioneer with the lead. Wells trying to get it in, running the baseline. That over to Espinoza. Espinoza double team taken away by Whitridge. Whitridge gets it over to DeLogan. Back to Bailey. Now on the near wing. Harrison for a 3. Oh, it rimmed out. Hit both sides of the rim and popped out. Tough luck miss there. Here comes Wells for Monroe. Wells on the far wing. Bounce pass over to Robinson. Robinson on the far sideline. Robinson right in front of the Pioneer bench. That tipped away out of bounds. Believe that's going to stay. Monroe ball with 2:04 left to go here in the first. Sai in for Pioneer, so Saito and Sai in there with the starters Whitridge, DeLogan, as well as Bailey. Wells to inbound for Monroe, and was that a 5-second call? I believe it was. Or was it a timeout? May have been timeout called. It was. Was it? No, 5-second call. They were gathering around the Pioneer bench. I thought maybe a timeout, but no. 5-second call. Pioneer has it as they will inbound right in front of their own bench. 2:04 left to go here in the first. 23-2, 21-point lead for Pioneer. Dulogan for Pioneer over midcourt. Dulogan gets it over to Whitridge. Now over on the far sideline is Cy. Over on the near wing to Dulogan. Dulogan, top of the key, underneath to Whitridge. Whitridge, just a little too strong off the backboard. Coming the other direction, here comes Espinoza. Espinoza gets it to White. White on the baseline. Back over to Espinoza right in front of the Pioneer bench. Espinoza to the free throw line. Taken away by Cy. Cy the other direction for Pioneer. Cy underneath. Now dished off into the near corner. Three-pointer off the rim. Wouldn't go for Saito. Now here comes White the other direction for Monroe. White in the front court over to Robinson. Robinson on the far sideline. Pressure coming by Bailey. Hand off to Wells as Wells spins. Wells puts up a three-pointer off the far side of the rim. Pulled down by Whitridge. Whitridge doing a fantastic job underneath the basket. Now Saito has it on the near wing. Gets it over to Dulogan. Now Saito comes over onto the far wing. Into the far corner for Cy. Cy makes it in the near side of the paint. There's a three-pointer for Bailey off the backside of the rim. Whitridge with a big offensive rebound. Another three-pointer for Bailey off the back. The front of the rim would not go. Monroe tracks it down. Wells has it in the backcourt. 43 seconds left to go here in the first. 23-20 or 23-2. Pioneer with the lead. Robinson to the near elbow. There's a bump, and I believe Cy is going to take the penalty. That's his first. Pioneer's first with 35.4 seconds left to go here in the first. Wells to inbound. Collect back in as that ball sent out to Collette on the far wing. Collette, triple team, puts it up off the front of the rim. Wouldn't go. Whitridge with the rebound. Here comes Saito over to Cy on the near wing. Cy for Pioneer. Back to Saito. Just off the top of the key to the near wing. Cy in the near corner. Now Saito works his way around the arc. Saito hands it off to Dulogan. Dulogan back over to Bailey. Back to Dulogan on the far wing. Dulogan coming down the far baseline, putting it up off the side of the rim and out of bounds. 2.2 seconds left to go here in the first. Wells to inbound. Baseline left for Monroe. Inbounded. Robinson brings it up the far wing, and that will do it for the first. 23-2. Pioneer outpacing their standard quarter, and holding Monroe under their normal amount for a quarter.
Yeah, that 2 points for Monroe is an indication that the Pioneers playing good defense, and Monroe's got to address that, and at the other end, they cannot afford to give up another 23 points in the second quarter. But I've been enjoying watching, being a big man coach and conducting post-player camps. I'm putting an eye on senior Phillips from Monroe, who stands 6'5", against Whitridge of Pioneers, 6'8", and both of them are playing good, clean basketball in the paint. There's contact. They're boxing out good. They're using their size well, offensively and defensively.
Fantastic. It's a good matchup between the big men. As we're about to get going. As getting ready to inbound on the near wing sideline. So again, Whitridge having a great game thus far. Wells to inbound right in front of us. Richardson watching the inbound pass, bounce pass, head over to Espinoza. Espinoza, that's blocked underneath. Good job over there by Boylan. Espinoza got the ball back, bounce pass over to Wells. Wells on the near wing for Monroe. Now Espinoza on the near sideline, back top of the key over to Robinson. Robinson, pass over, and a little miscommunication as Wells was going into the corner, that out of bounds. Pioneer with the ball. Richardson inbounds to Ellington. Ellington back in. He comes over midcourt. 23-2. Pioneer with the lead. Richardson On the near wing, gets it top of the key for Boylan now. Sai gets it back over to Saito. Saito underneath, that put up by Sai, wouldn't go, loose ball. Sai gets his own rebound, gets it back over to Ellington. Ellington on the near wing. Ellington stops, puts up the three-pointer. Off the front, the back of the rim, wouldn't go. Collision underneath. I believe that's going to be on Boylan. So Boylan picks up his first foul, first of either team for this quarter. Monroe inbounds as Wells brings it ahead. Wells for Monroe over midcourt. Richardson watches him there. Now that ball out of bounds. Pioneer ball with 7:01 left to go before halftime. Substitutions, Jones comes back in. Trying to see who comes out. That's going to be Wells coming out for Jones. Richardson to inbound. Now Ellington has it. Ellington for Pioneer up the middle of the court, over midcourt. Ellington gets it over to Boylan. Now Sai has it top of the key. Over on the near wing to Ellington. Ellington dribbles to his right. Top of the key for Ellington. Over on the near wing for Richardson. Richardson dribbles to his right, comes top of the key. Ellington on the far wing. Ellington over to Saito. Saito down on the near side of the paint. That put up and in by Ellington. Three-pointer by Ellington. That's his second three-pointer. He has 6, and it's 26-2. Pioneer with the lead. Jones brings it ahead for Monroe. Jones over midcourt. Jones calls out signals, comes over on the far sideline. Jones stops. Now over to Robinson. Robinson just off the logo. Robinson hands it off to Espinoza. Espinoza just in front of midcourt, diving to the ground. Sai trying to get to it. And that looks like it's going to be Pioneer's ball. That is going to be a foul, I believe, on Espinoza. So Espinoza picks up his first foul. First on Monroe this quarter. So Perry back in for Monroe. Ellington bounce pass over to Boylan. Now Sai has it top of the key. Near wing, Richardson over to Ellington on the near wing. Ellington trying to work his way past traffic to the far elbow. Now Saito for 3 off the near side of the rim. Grabbed by Richardson. Good rebound by Pioneer. Back out to Saito. Now Ellington to Sai in the near corner. Sai for 3. That off the rim falls off to the far side. Robinson has it for Monroe, coming the other direction with 3:37 left to go before halftime. Robinson picks up his dribble, bounce pass over to Jones. Jones about 6 foot off the top of the key. Jones working against Saito, comes over onto the near wing, gets it to Perry. Perry on the near sideline. Ellington watching him. Perry all the way back to Robinson, far wing into the far corner for Jones. Jones working against Saito, trying to shake himself free down the baseline, dishes it off. That put up and in by Phillips. Phillips with his first points. And now Pioneer in the front court. Saito into the far corner for 3, and he hits it. Saito for 3. That's his first points of the game. It's 29-4. Pioneer with the lead, 4:52 left to go before halftime. Jones for Monroe. Over midcourt, Saito watching him. Jones over to Robinson on the far sideline. Robinson comes top of the key underneath. Good job to float it in the back to Perry. Picked up by Robinson before it goes over midcourt. Now Perry with a shot from the far corner. That rattles around and in. Perry, that's a three-pointer. That's his first points of the game. And it's 29-7, Pioneer with the lead. Saito for Pioneer gets it over to Ellington. Saito top of the key for 3. He puts it in. Saito with 6 points, 2 3-pointers, and it's 32-7. Pioneer with the lead. 4:09 left to go here before halftime. Jones makes his way over midcourt for Monroe. Jones working against Saito. Jones comes on the far sideline. Jones coming down the far sideline. And that is going to be Pioneer's ball. Dula Ogun comes in with Harrison. Saito and Sai goes out. 3:55 left to go here before halftime. 32-7 Pioneer with the 25-point lead. Ellington in the backcourt, over midcourt. Ellington working against Perry. Ellington bounce pass over to Boylan. Now Harrison comes top of the key over onto the near wing to Ellington. Ellington works his way to the top of the key. Now Ellington gets it over Richardson for three. Head off the back of the rim. Trying to get it. That pulled down by Robinson. Headed the other direction for Monroe. Now putting it up. Phillips off the glass. Wouldn't go, but he's fouled. So Ellington with his first foul. 2 on Pioneer, 1 on Monroe. Phillips to the line as he's going to shoot 2. First shot by Phillips off the back of the rim, wouldn't go. One more coming. Trying to get this to a 24-point lead by Pioneer. Bending the knees, Phillips puts it up off the back of the rim, wouldn't go, but a whistle, and I think that might be a lane violation. So Phillips gets one more opportunity. So Phillips gets one more shot due to the Pioneer lane violation. He dribbles the ball, puts it up. Off the back of the rim, wouldn't go. Boylan with the rebound, over to Harrison. Harrison up for Pioneer. Logan bounce pass underneath. Trying to get it to Richardson and tipped away, but a foul. That is going to be on Perry. Perry picks up his first foul. 2 on Pioneer, 2 on Monroe as Richardson goes out as Whiteridge comes back in. Logan for 3, he hits it right off the inbound. Logan now has 9 points. He's made 3 3-pointers, 35-7. Pioneer with the lead, 3:08 left to go. Jones brings it over midcourt for Monroe. Jones over on the near wing, watched by Ellington. Jones, near sideline, works his way. Now sends it on the logo over to Robinson. Robinson on the far sideline. Robinson, bounce pass. Jones trying to get to it. Robinson got the loose ball, but a loose ball foul and an elbow called. So Robinson gets his second foul, and it's 35-7 Pioneer with the lead. Pioneer will inbound with 2:45 now before halftime. Ellington over midcourt for Pioneer. Ellington over top of the key for Whiteridge. Whiteridge gets it over. Harrison for 3 off the back of the rim, pulled down by White. White moves it over. Now Perry brings it ahead for Monroe over midcourt. Gets it to Jones. Jones works against Logan. Jones over onto the near wing. Jones works his way top of the key. Jones down the paint. Jones puts it up off the side of the rim. That pulled down by Ellington for Pioneer. Bounce pass down the far sideline to Logan. Ellington into the near corner for Boylan. That ball, Ellington for 3 off the near side of the rim. Harrison gets the rebound. Logan for 3 on the near wing. That off the back of the rim. Bouncing, picked up by Jones. Now Phillips moves it ahead to Perry for Monroe. Perry in the front court, Perry. All right, just off the blockades for Pioneer. Perry bounce pass to Phillips. Phillips into the paint. Phillips puts it up off the front of the rim, wouldn't go. Now ahead, Ellington down the far side of the paint. Up and in for Pioneer. Ellington has 8 points, and it's 37-7, 30-point lead for Pioneer. 1:33 left to go before halftime. Jones over midcourt. Jones has that tip but gets it back as Harrison watches him. That ball comes off to the near side, right off our cart. Jones will have a Monroe player inbound as now Wells comes in. He gives Jones a breather with 1:23 left to go before halftime. Wells looking to inbound. Wells. That popped up high by Harrison over onto the near wing. Harrison with the rebound down the baseline, puts it up off glass, wouldn't go off the near side of the rim, but a whistle, and that should be a foul. And Harrison should go to the line, shooting 2, blocking foul. Did not see the number there. So Perry picks up his second foul. First one up and off the rim for Harrison. He'll get another one. Harrison leading all scorers with 10 points. Logan has 9 with 3 3-pointers right behind him. Next shot for Harrison. Spins the ball. Dribbles again. Bends the knees. Puts it up. Puts it in. Nothing but net on that one, and Harrison has a game-high 11 points. Perry moves it back over to Wells as Wells brings ahead for Monroe with 1:15 left to go before halftime. Wells into the front court, and that ball knocked away. Now coming ahead over White hands it into the near corner down the baseline. That ball put up and wouldn't go off the near sideline. Ellington with the rebound. Here comes Harrison, top of the key. Harrison into the paint, puts it up with the left hand and in. Harrison got the nice roll, and 13 points for Harrison, 40-7, Pioneer with the lead. Perry in the front court for Monroe. Perry moves it over to White. White on the far sideline, comes top of the key. White back over to Perry. Perry just inside the blockades. Perry gets a screen from White onto the near wing. Perry puts up a three-pointer off the back of the rim. Whiteridge with the rebound. Here comes Logan the other way for Pioneer with 27 seconds left to go before halftime. Ellington now off the top of the key over to Harrison on the near wing. Harrison getting instructions from Coach Marion. 14 seconds left to go. Harrison over to Ellington. Ellington top of the key for Boylan. Boylan over to Logan. Logan 5 seconds left to go. Logan down the paint, puts it up and in. Finger roll for Logan. He has 11 points. And at the end of the 2, it is Pioneer 42 and Monroe 7. Now, Monroe got 5 points in that quarter. They only had 2 in the first quarter. Pioneer with 19 points in the second quarter there. Taking a look at bench points for Pioneer. It is 6 bench points for Pioneer here in the first, 0 bench points for Monroe. Whiteridge has 2, Bailey has 2, 13 points for Harrison, 8 for Ellington, 6 for Saito. Those are the bench points, 11 for Ogun. On the other side, it's 3 for Perry, 2 for Collette, and 2 for Phillips. Fouls, Pioneer, 1 foul on Ellington, 1 foul on Cy, and 1 foul on Boylan. On the other side, it is 1 foul on White, 2 on Robinson, 2 on Perry, 1 on Espinoza. What are your thoughts of that first half there, Coach?
Well, I got some quick numbers that really stand out. I wouldn't believe it unless I saw it here on the stat sheet. Pioneers taken 17 threes. Started out hot with the percentage. What was that first 3?
Yeah, they hit 80% there originally. Yep.
So for the half, they're 8 for 17. So it's a little under 50%.
Sure, indeed.
So that's an improvement that Coach Marion was looking for. Hopefully they can continue that the second half. In the paint, Pioneer has a total of 12 of those 42 points have come in the paint. But the majority have been from the threes that we just mentioned.
Indeed.
Monroe, in the perimeter on the 3 arc, they're 1 for 3. And in the paint, they've only accumulated 4 points. So that's the big difference right there in the paint's 12-4. And total rebounds in the first half, Monroe has a total of 9, offense and defense, and Pioneer has a total of 8. So that's pretty even.
Indeed, indeed. That's certainly something I think in the first quarter Pioneer led with, but Monroe getting a few more rebounds in that second quarter, make it a lot closer and taking the rebound lead.
Yeah. And, keep in mind, when you're shooting well on offense, there's going to be fewer offensive rebound opportunities.
Indeed.
One thing Coach Marion mentioned that I failed to bring up in the pregame is Huddle does a lot of stats.
Yeah.
And one of them is, and I got into this a few years ago, is points per possession. A lot of coaches look at that, and he said that's his number 1 stat to look for. How many points are you going to walk away on the average possession? So that's over the whole 32-minute game. And I guessed 1, and he said, I wish it was 1. He says, we're just under, we're probably 0.8 or 0.9.
Sure, yeah.
And you hit 1, that's pretty good in high school basketball.
Absolutely. You have a good shooting percentage at that point. Absolutely.
You're taking care of the ball on offense. A lot of variables fall into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Not many turnovers, good shooting percentage, yeah. And then a good three-point percentage can bump that up too. So.
Yeah, yep.
Fantastic job by the Pioneer cheerleaders out there. We appreciate them and all their hard work during the games. And always good to see them out there. And now we have a You Make the Call here. You want to read that one out, and
Sure.
we'll take a little bit of a break and come back. And
Sure, Mark. You've been doing pretty good this season.
knock on wood. Well, that's metal, but knock on my head for wood.
I hope you get this one. Otherwise, it might not be, a turnover and a missed bad call.
That's fair. Indeed.
Okay, here's a scenario. A14 takes a long three-point try, and the ball rebounds directly to A's backcourt, where A24 gains control. Is this a violation? You have a couple choices here. A, yes, this is an over and back violation. B, no, both player and team control ended on a three-point attempt for a goal. C, no, rebound in backcourt was not in control of either team. Or it could be D is B and C are correct.
Okay, well, we'll take a little bit of a break, play a little bit of messages from the MHSA, and I'll come back. I think I have my answer, but we'll let you think about it a little bit, and we will tell you. So you are watching Pioneer Men's Varsity Basketball. It's 42 to 7 here at halftime.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform, why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You're hearing it. The message is getting through to parents. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
All right, so we are back here. Let me do a little scoreboard report here back on for SEC Red. Back on January 20th, it was Chelsea beating Skyline 71-62. Dexter beat Lake Fenton 60-37, and it was Sling beating Ypsilanti Community 73-43. Pioneer beat Dexter back on the 23rd, 51-40. Two other games postponed that day. On the 24th, it was Dearborn Fordson falling to Saline 72-51. It was Pioneer beating Redford Thurston 56-43. Huron beat Detroit University Prep 61-45, and Skyline beat Brighton 67-59. 3 games today. Huron is hosting Saline. Pioneer obviously hosting Monroe, and Temperance Bedford hosting Dexter. So as coach is taking care of a couple of stats here, I'll read the You Make the Call again. So player A, 14, takes a long 3-point try, and the ball rebounds directly into A's backcourt, where A, 24, gains control. Is this a violation? A, yes, this is an over and back violation. B, no, both player and team control ended on the 3-point attempt for a goal. C, no, the rebound in the backcourt was not in control of either team. And D, B and C are correct. I believe it's A, that is a over and back violation.
No, the correct answer, it's B and C, no, and those are the reasons why.
Oh, there you go.
The rebound in the backcourt was not in control of either team, and once that ball hits that rim, that field goal attempt, so the correct answer would be B and C.
Good.
There's no violation.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So when that player runs that ball down and
Yeah.
comes up, he's not breaking any rules.
Because it's hit it, as opposed to typically it's not over and back because like the other team batted it back or something like that. So team A lost possession, and therefore it's not over and back that way as well. Typically.
Our next game, we're going to make a call about over and back, get clarification. That's one of the most common misread rules by the average fan.
That's and I appreciate that. That's a great one, Coach. I appreciate that. And ones I miss means I learn more. So there you go. I'll have to pop that one back in the memory bank. As Monroe will start off with the ball, Wells will have it. So looking to get 8 minutes up on the clock, 42-7 Pioneer with the lead, 35-point lead. And there's a technical foul, I believe now, as Wells shoots and hits the front of the rim. I did not see what the technical was for, but second shot here by Wells. So he'll shoot that. That rims off the rim off to the near side. One thing I forgot to look up, and I'm wondering if you know what, do you know what's the point differential that triggers a running clock? Is that 40 points?
Yes, last I knew it was 40, unless
Okay.
that's been changed.
So 8 minutes up on the clock. There we go. So I believe that they didn't set the clock to 8 minutes because I believe that technical happened at halftime, so it was not during the third quarter. Collette has it for Monroe, gets it back. It is now Wells in the far corner. Wells has that out of bounds. That's going to be continue to be Monroe's ball. 7:50 left to go here in the third. As that ball bounce pass, loose, Pioneer gets it. White Ridge with that rebound is coming over into the near corner. Three-pointer off the side of the rim, wouldn't quite go for Bailey. Bounce pass to Bailey in the paint. Bailey dribbles once, gets it over to Harrison, who puts it in. Harrison continues to have the game high 15 points as it's 44-7. Pioneer with the lead, 7:27 left to go here in the third. Wells in the front court for Monroe. Wells down the baseline, puts it up and in. So Wells gets his first points of the game. Pioneer quickly the other direction. Dulogan gets the score. That's 13 points for Dulogan. Monroe has it in the front court as that is working around with it is Espinoza. Over on the near wing to Robinson. Robinson, that tipped away. White Ridge coming the other direction. Phillips right next to him. White Ridge has it tipped away by Phillips. From behind, out of bounds. That should be Pioneer's ball, and it is. 6:50 left to go here in the third. 46-9 is our score. Pioneer with the lead. Monroe Pioneer to inbound. Harrison has it. Harrison gets over to Dulogan. Dulogan comes top of the key. Dulogan over to Ellington on the far sideline. Now Harrison top of the key. Back over to Ellington on the far wing. Back to Harrison. Now Bailey gets it back over to Harrison. Ellington on that far wing. Boylan, free throw line. Now Harrison for a three. Off the front, the back of the rim wouldn't go. Robinson with the rebound. Robinson coming down the far sideline into the front court for Monroe. 46-9. Pioneer with the lead. Robinson on the near wing. Bounce pass, trying to get it into. On the baseline, knocked away by White Ridge. Monroe to inbound. Baseline left. 6:16 left to go here in the third. Wells to inbound. Wells. Bounce pass. That grabbed over by Robinson on the near wing. Robinson stops, fires it over to Espinoza. Espinoza has it taken away. Here comes Harrison the other direction. Harrison has that blocked, but a whistle with 6 minutes left to go here in the third. That is going to be a foul on Espinoza. That's his second foul of the game. One foul by both teams in this quarter. Harrison to the line, shooting two, trying to add to his game high 15 points. First one is up and good. 16 points for Harrison, trying to make it 17. 28-point lead for Pioneer. Trying to make it 29. Harrison puts it up, nothing but net on that one. Harrison has 17 points. Monroe inbounds baseline right as Wells brings ahead, 48-9. Pioneer with the lead. 5:55 left to go. That ball tipped out of bounds. Wells to inbound right in front of us. White Ridge and Harrison go out. Cy comes in. And that fired back over by Schrock. Now Schrock has it on the near wing. Schrock all the way over to Wells. Now on the far side of the paint. That put up by Phillips as that rattles home. Phillips has 4 points, and it's 48-11. Pioneer quickly in the other direction as Bailey has it at the free throw line. Ellington on the far wing. Ellington to the free throw line now. Cy for three off the back of the rim. Wouldn't go. Phillips with the rebound. Here comes Wells for Monroe over at the front court. Wells gets it over to Robinson. Robinson down the baseline. Underneath. Wouldn't go. Rebound by Collette. That blocked by Bailey. But a whistle. 5:13 left to go. Wells has it. That must have gone out of bounds. Didn't see or hear a foul called. So Wells to inbound baseline left. Gets it to Phillips at the far elbow. Phillips takes a dribble into the paint. Puts it up off the front of the rim. Wouldn't go. Rebound by Cy for Pioneer. Cy in the backcourt brings it in for Pioneer. Now over on the far wing to Dulogan. Dulogan comes into the paint, puts it up off glass and in. DeLogan with 15 points. Now Wells brings it up the near side of the court for Monroe. Over to Schrock. Schrock has it on the far wing. Back over to Wells. 50-11, Pioneer with the lead. Now Robinson gets it over, and that will go out of bounds. 4:35 left to go. So Pioneer tipped it out. Wells to inbound. Just to our left is it's 50-11. 4:35 left to go here in the third. Bounce pass as White has it to Collette in the near corner. All the way back out to Wells. Wells gets a screen. Now into Phillips in the paint. Phillips back over. Collette with a long two-pointer, but that pulled down by Kaiser. Now Saito in the front court for Pioneer. Saito gets a screen from Buys. Saito down the near side of the paint. Dished it off to Kaiser and a whistle. 4:12 left to go. That's a turnover over to Monroe. Wells inbounds. Schrock back to Wells. Wells brings it ahead over midcourt for Monroe. Now that over to White. White bounce pass over to Schrock. Schrock just off the top of the key. Over on the near wing to Wells. Wells down the baseline. Trying to get over to Phillips. Good steal by Sy. Sy brings it ahead into the front court for Pioneer. Sy dishes it off to Kaiser. Now Bailey for three, and he hits it. Bailey with 5 points, and it's 53-11. That makes it a 42-point lead. So the running clock, is that second half or just fourth quarter? I just don't see it a lot. I see it a lot more in lacrosse and all.
That's a good question. I
Football,
can't
I've seen
Mark.
it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
a few times. Selena's made us and Dexter's made us have a running clock. I don't think I've had it in basketball often, so forgive me, folks, but we'll see what the clock operator does.
Well, if we can get one of these zebras over here, when the ball's dead, I'll give them a quick question.
Yeah. As they're talking things over, 53-11, so 42-point lead for Pioneer. 2 fouls on Pioneer, 1 on Monroe. Pioneer still has all 5 timeouts. Monroe down to 2. Monroe has their first bench points as well, had 2 points. They got their first bench points in the third. Wells brings it over for Monroe, over to Schrock. Schrock comes top of the key. Schrock working against Saito. That tipped away. Schrock gets it back, but out of bounds. Richardson with a valiant attempt, but dribbled it out of bounds. Schrock to inbound on the near sideline. That inbounded to Wells. Wells gets it back over to Collette. Collette on the far wing. Collette. Bounce pass over to Perry. Perry just off the top of the key. Perry down the far side of the paint. Puts it up off the rim. Wouldn't go. Here comes Saito. Saito brings it ahead for Pioneer over midcourt. Saito over into the far corner for Richardson. Wouldn't go. 2:55 left to go. That clock continues to run, so that answers my question. So that ball inbounded by Wells. Wells brings it down the far side of the court. Wells over midcourt. Now over to Perry for Monroe. Onto the near wing. Schrock has it. Schrock down the baseline. Schrock. That popped up. Schrock gets it back. Gets it into White. White puts it up and in. So White with his first points of the game, and it's 53-13. Pioneer in the front court. Saito thought about a three-pointer, dribbles to his left. Bounce pass into Buys. Buys underneath, trying to put it up. Wouldn't go, but he is fouled with 2:15 and counting. See who the foul was on. I could not see. The referee was... So Tanner St. Colette, call it, is what John's saying over across the way. Yeah, I thought I knew how that was pronounced. Buys with it. Buys puts it up. rattles it home. So he hits the second one, and Buys has his first point of the game. 54-13, Pioneer with the lead. 1:28 left to go here in the third. Wells has it, dishes it off to White. White trying to get it over to Perry on the far wing. Perry dribbles to his left, now on the far elbow. That moved back over to Collett. Collett on the baseline. Collett gets it back over to Jones. Jones, top of the key. Jones to Wells. Wells puts up a three from the near corner. That wouldn't go. Whistle blown. Collett picks up the foul. That's his second. Clock continues to run. Here comes Saito up the near side of the court for Pioneer. Over midcourt. Jones watching him. Saito on the near wing. Gets it over to Buys. Buys for three. Off the rim. Off the front. The back of the rim wouldn't go. Monroe with the rebound. 40 seconds left to go here in the third. Wells down the far side of the court for Monroe. He bounce passes into the far corner for White. Back over to Perry on the far sideline right in front of his coaches. Perry gets a screen down the baseline. Perry double teamed there, trying to dish it off. Saito with that steal. Saito into the paint, finger roll up, wouldn't go. No foul, pulled away by White, and here comes Monroe the other direction. Jones with 11 seconds left to go gets over midcourt. Jones working against Saito. Jones into the paint, puts it up, wouldn't go. Rebound by Pioneer. Now coming down the far side of the court, Saito over to Buys. And that will do it for the third. So 54 points for Pioneer, 13 for Monroe. And that is going to be, there is now 7 bench points for Pioneer. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be 4 on Monroe. 4 bench points for Monroe. Your thoughts on a kind of running clock on the second half of that third quarter, so it went a little quicker, but your thoughts on that third quarter there, Coach?
Well, it's obvious Monroe is struggling to get that offense rolling right now, and coming in this fourth quarter, you know, our coaches have different philosophies, but coaches want to make use of these 8 minutes. And we've already seen some players come off the bench, probably get more minutes. And coaches will be looking for contributions in any way they can, maybe at the offensive end, maybe at the defensive end. And always stressing free throws. I thought that statistic of 0 fouls for Monroe, to me as a coach, that foul number indicated 1 or 2 things. If there's a lot of fouls, that could mean very poor defense.
Sure.
You're not moving your feet and you're reaching. Or if there's a lot of low foul number, you're not playing physically aggressive enough.
You're not driving the lane, things like that. Cy has it on the far sideline as we're into the fourth quarter. Now Kaiser, top of the key, back to Cy in the far corner. Cy thought about it, steps back, takes the three, and off the rim, wouldn't go, out of bounds. That should be Monroe ball. Pioneer continuing to work on the three-pointers. Wells brings it up for Monroe. Wells over midcourt. Wells down the far sideline. Wells stops. Bounce pass. As on the far sideline was Phillips. Now Wells over to Collette. Collette. Near side of the paint. Collette. Bounce pass. Trying to get to Phillips. That's stolen away by Bai. Here comes Saito. Saito in the front court for Pioneer. Saito into the far corner for Kaiser. Kaiser down the baseline. Kaiser dishes it off into the near corner. That for Boylan. Now Saito for a three. Off the rim, wouldn't go. Rebound by Collette. Collette almost had stolen by Saito. Collette gets it over to Jones. Over onto the near wing. Trying to work his way around is Espinoza. Back over to Jones. Now Wells on the far sideline. Bounce pass. Collette has it on the baseline. Underneath the Phillips. Knocked away. That is going to stay Monroe ball. 6:37 left to go. Clock continues to run. Believe if Monroe scores here, they get it under 40. I believe that would stop the running clock. Wells to inbound on that baseline left. Gets it to, almost got it to Phillips. That's stolen away by Cy. Cy on the near side of the paint. Cy trying to put it up. Wouldn't go, but a foul underneath. Thought it was a foul, must have been just out of bounds. So Saito inbounds on that far sideline. It's Kaiser, now Saito from the near side of the paint, up and in. Saito has 8 points, and it's 56-13. Pioneer with the lead. 5:45 left to go here in the fourth. Wells keeps it from going out of bounds on the far sideline. Bounce pass over to Robinson. Robinson down the far baseline, gets it back over to Espinoza. Espinoza, top of the key. Espinoza loses the dribble. Here comes Kaiser. Kaiser and Espinoza down on the ground. That grab by Boylan moved it over, but a whistle. That was good hustle by both of the teams diving down to the ground trying to get that loose ball. Jones picks up the foul. That is his first foul. First foul of the quarter. Saito has it over to Sai in the far corner. Sai takes a step to the near elbow, over to Saito on the near sideline. Saito, near wing. Saito to the free throw line, takes the shot. That falls off the glass to the near side. Byes gets the rebound, puts it off glass, wouldn't go. Phillips with the rebound, ahead to Jones. Jones for Monroe down the near side of the paint. That up falls off the far side of the rim, wouldn't go. Rebound by Saito, or Sai, but I think he stepped out of bounds. So Selby comes in for Pioneer. Crum comes in for Pioneer. Dunlop comes in for Pioneer, as well as Camara in for Pioneer. So Pioneer empties the bench. 4:09 running clock. Bounce pass into Robinson for Monroe. All the way back to Jones, trying to steal it away. Coming in is Selby, puts it up and in. Selby with his first points of the game. And it's 58-13. Jones for Monroe. Moves ahead to Espinoza. Espinoza in the front court. 58-13. Pioneer with the lead. 3:45 left to go in the fourth. Wells with it on the far wing for Monroe. Gets it over to Espinoza on the near wing. Espinoza double teamed. Espinoza comes down the far side of the paint. Puts it up and in. Espinoza gets his first points of the game. 58-15. Pioneer in the front court as that floater put up and in. That was Dunlop with it. He has his first points of this game as Dunlop ended up having 4 in the JV contest. Wells in the front court for Monroe. Off glass, wouldn't go. Got his own rebound. Wouldn't go again, but bumped by Dunlop, and that will be a foul. So Dunlop picks up his first foul. 60-15. Pioneer with the lead. Wells to the line. Clock continues to run to 50 and counting. Wells bends the knees. Puts it up. Rattles home. Wells with 3 points. Trying to make it 4. Perry back in for Monroe. 2:30 left to go. Wells with his second shot. Up and good. Wells with 4 points, and it's 60-17. Pioneer with the lead. As Dunlop in the front court down on the far sideline. Dunlop comes to the near elbow, into the near corner. 3-pointer there. Wouldn't go. As Crum with the 3-pointer. That wouldn't go. Wells bringing it ahead. Under 2 minutes left to go now. Wells for Monroe in the front court. Gets it over to Robinson on the far sideline. Robinson dribbles to his right. Robinson underneath the White. White puts it up. Rolls around and in. White has 4 points. And it's 60-19. Now that ball over on the near wing. 3-pointer put up by Camara. Wouldn't go. Rebound. Pulled down by the Trojans. 1:30 left to go. That ahead to Robinson. Robinson puts it up and in. So Robinson has his first points of the game. 1:22 left to go. Dunlop has it on the far sideline. Dunlop gets that in as working his way around. Knocked down. I used to have Dula Ogun as 23, but I have a 23 in there. Not sure who that is. Up, wouldn't go, grabbed. Into the near corner. And all the way back, top of the key. Selby puts up a 3 off the back of the rim. Wouldn't go and out of bounds. Clock stops because, again, it's under 40 points. It's now 39. Oh, now it's going again. So it might be that it doesn't reset after that as that sky's up. Selby with it. 32 seconds left. Into the paint. Kamara puts it up off glass. Wouldn't go. Rebound by Pioneer. Into the far corner. Selby for a 3. Off the rim. Gets his own rebound. Selby has that block from behind. 19 seconds left to go. Continuing to run. Pioneer to inbound on the right hand baseline right with 10 seconds left to go. Ed inbounded over to Selby. Selby just has it and he'll dribble it out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pioneer with a impressive win, 60 to 21. So 39-point win by Pioneer. Looking at the bench points here, so Saito had 8, 2 for Dunlop makes it 10, 1 for Buys makes it 11, and 2 for Selby makes it 13 bench points for Pioneer. On the other side, it's 2 for Espinoza, 4 for White makes 6, and 4 for Wells makes 10. So 13 bench points for Pioneer, 10 for Monroe. Whitebridge had 2 points. Bailey had 5 points. Game high 17 points for Harrison, 8 points for Ellington, 8 points for Saito, 2 points for Dunlop, 1 for Buys, 2 for Selby, and 15 for Dula Ogun. On the other side, Perry has 3 points. Espinoza had 2. 2 for Collette, 2 for Robinson, 4 for Phillips, 4 for White, and 4 for Wells. So 3 people had the high for Monroe, each with 4 points, Phillips, White, and Wells. As a big win for Pioneer. We will be back on Friday as it is the Pioneer women taking on, I think it's Bedford, but we will be here for the JV contest and the varsity contest. As let me just verify and look at my schedule here. And I will let you know we do have 2 Michigan women's hockey games as well coming up this weekend. But it is versus Bedford, women's JV contest at 5:30, varsity at 7 o'clock. You have some stats there, Coach?
Yeah, I got a few stats for us, Mark. The biggest one that jumps out is that turnover, the turnover numbers. Monroe really struggled at times with ball handling. And unfortunately, that turned into some bad passes and a total of 14 turnovers for the game versus I only have 4 for Pioneer, which 1 per quarter is not bad.
No, not at all, not at all.
The rebound war was similar to the first half, very balanced. I got Pioneer for 14, Monroe 15. Pioneer got to the line 9 times, knocked down 6 for 67%. Monroe only got to the line 6 times, made 2, which is 33%. In the paint was won by Pioneer. 24 of the total points came in the paint. And I don't have the total for 3-point field goals, but they've got a lot of points from the perimeter
I think I could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 3-pointers. And multiply that by 3, obviously, and
27.
Yeah, good chunk of those.
Yeah. Well, I
and then on the other side, I think there was 1 3-pointer for Monroe. That was Perry who hit a 3-pointer. So 27 to 3 is a big differential there as well.
Yes, very big. So yeah, I enjoy watching the game.
Yeah.
A little unbalanced on the scoreboard, but both teams played hard, which is representative of the coaching staff. You mentioned there in the fourth quarter there was a loose ball, and several players were on the floor trying to get possession.
Everyone's still battling. You love to see that hustle. Well, I appreciate everything, Coach. Thank you for all of your hard work today, doing double duty, doing stats and color commentary. We always appreciate you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on Friday. So we will be off tomorrow, but hopefully the weather doesn't get bad on Friday and we have the game.
Yeah.
And gosh, it'd be nice if it got above freezing at some point, but that's okay. A layer of ice on my desk on my deck that won't quit.
Yeah.
So for our color commentator, Coach Aarons, our camera operator, Christina Wiseman, my name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your night, folks.